Hey guys, it's Abby with MotorCityNerds, and yeah, okay, so I feel like it's been a long time since I just ranted like a Game of Thrones fan instead of somebody analyzing whether or not something will do well, and I feel like it's been a minute since we had fun doing it, and I love Game of Thrones. I love A Song of Ice and Fire. I love this book series. I do. I really love it a lot. I get irritated with how George R. R. Martin treats his fan base, but other than that, I love this world. And I'm grateful to George R. R. Martin for creating it. You guys want to know what I've been saying from the beginning. If you've been here, you already know. One of my first videos I ever did, it's horrible, was about Dunk and Egg, and how I did not understand if they weren't doing Aegon's Conquest, why they would not do that, if they weren't going to do Robert's Rebellion too. But we can get into that in a second, because I kind of have a theory as to why they're not doing Robert's Rebellion, which is upsetting to me. So, I'll put pictures of this up. I've been saying for a very long, since the start of the channel, literally, doing Dunk and Egg was their smartest bet. It's the most entertaining to reread. It would be like The Mandalorian. We love the dynamic of the big badass and his little special sidekick. We would have gotten to see Maester Aemon in theory, possibly, which would have been awesome because he's the best Targaryen. It also has Bloodraven, one of my top 3 Targaryens. But it's just fun, and we love that dynamic, and it would have let us go back to Westeros with a totally different vibe, and we'd have these little stories within a bigger picture that would have filled out, and I just was like, that's the smartest way to go right now. It would have been a palate cleanser. People would have gone, oh, we know these places, we know these characters, some are relatives, but we get a totally different feel for Westeros, and I feel like it would have been a total palate cleanser from what we had, and is so different from House of the Dragon or the Dance of Dragons, and I think they really should have went with that first, and then they said, we're not done with it, and I'm like, George, you're not done with the main series, what are you talking about? Stop this madness. And then they go, no, we are going to do the Hedge Knight, and so 2 days ago, Screen Rant said, and now I haven't been jumping on every little thing they say, because HBO, Max, Warner Brothers, they'll pull the plug on anything without any warning or reason, so I try to avoid it. But big publications have been reporting on these spin-offs and stuff, and Screen Rant said that the Hedge Knight got a filming day. I really, really hate when people write articles and it's just bullshit for 70% of it. We all know who Sir Duncan the Tall is. If you don't, he's awesome, he's big, he beats the shit out of people, and he's like a noble knight. Oh, and he's a common person. Like, he's not from a major royal family or anything, so he's just normal. And then he ends up running around with a little Targaryen who ends up being king one day. But it's a fun, good story, which is rare in this world. I'm glad you guys have a, 9-paragraph thing just to say, this summer, it's supposed to start production, start filming. Yeah, this summer. This is probably the story I'm most excited to see brought to the screen besides Robert's Rebellion, and we'll get into that in a minute. You guys just post bullshit, don't you, Screen Rant? Damn. This is from 13 hours ago. Okay. Game of Thrones, A Knight of the Seven Kingdoms, The Hedge Knight, production status, story details, and everything we know. Look at, they have the correct character in the background, the guy in the weirwood tree, the three-eyed raven, a.k.a. Bloodraven, a.k.a. Brynden Rivers, who's awesome. He watches you with 1,000 eyes in one. So now we've gone from summer of 2024 to start production to June. We got a direct month. Shout out Screen Rant for 2 articles and 2 sentences of information. Love that. Okay. I think this would be the funnest. I think it would be the best to do. I think it was just stupid not to, and the reason was stupid too. I've been saying that I think the House of the Dragon, where they picked to start, is not that great of an idea. I won't get into it right now, because if you've been here, you know what I'm going to say. So let's get into the stuff about Robert's Rebellion, because obviously House Baratheon is my favorite house, and I always said that they should do Robert's Rebellion, but that they should do it in 6 or 5 episodes of really well choreographed battles and stuff. 3 battles one day. Come on now, that'd be sick. And I just never understood. It's a surefire thing. People would love to see young Ned and love to see young Robert, and Jaime's still there and Tywin's still there. We still have a lot of these characters, and people would love to see that as long as it was just done really well and really well choreographed, because it's just all about the uprising, most of it. Still know enough of what happened with Jaime and the Mad King that every little thing wouldn't have to be meticulous. We would want it to be meticulous, but you guys know what I'm saying? People would know the broad strokes of what happened here already and want to see that. So I never understood, why are they not doing Robert's Rebellion? This does not make sense. I understand dragons are cool, but there's a really cool story right here that would probably be a surefire bet. And then I thought, oh my God. It's because you don't want people comparing Robert to Daenerys. Now, I've said this since it aired. Whoever named the episodes for the last season really cared. They all really connect, and some of them in deep ways. One of those episodes is when Brienne gets knighted, and that's called the Knight of the Seven Kingdoms. If you know, she's related to Sir Duncan the Tall. She's a descendant of him, and that's kind of where, always being a knight and doing the right thing, and no matter what, kind of comes from, and the height thing. But that episode is titled A Knight of the Seven Kingdoms, which is the book that is about Sir Duncan the Tall and Egg. So that's a connection on a couple levels if you know it. And then when they had the sacking of King's Landing and they titled it The Bells, I thought it was really interesting because I go, oh, that's the one battle Robert lost. That's the one battle Robert lost to the Targaryen side against Randall Tarley, Sam's dad. So we're going to have a Targaryen coming in and doing that now. But also, we have them ringing the bells, and that's a prevalent thing in it, and that to let them evacuate. That happens with Robert, and he lets them evacuate before the battle pops off. So I'm wondering, and let me know how you guys feel about this. I'm curious if they thought it's too soon, and we don't want people piling on our character here again, so let's avoid comparisons for the time. Which, okay, cool, but I really think that. I'm like, did you know that people would automatically go, probably, it's such a big scene and a big thing in the final season, but it's like, you gotta, that's on you. You gotta risk that, but I still say this. I'm like, no, that would be the best thing to see right now. I love seeing the dragons. I love seeing Vhagar. She's my favorite. Storm's End is my favorite castle. I loved seeing that. I was geeked, but yeah, dragons can only take you so far, and tearing your family apart and murdering your family and all of your pets dying is depressing. So I just didn't understand why they didn't go with something like Robert's Rebellion or Dunk and Egg at first, and then go back into the Dance of Dragons or Aegon's Conquest. This jumping all over thing, I think people are going to struggle with that. And if they do a sequel, why would it be about Jon? That makes no sense. It would be about Arya running from the Faceless Men or facing them or whatever's going on. It wouldn't be Jon. Why would it be about Jon? He's living the boring life. That's dumb. Do you want to know what they title it, Jon Snow or whatever, if they're even doing it, which I don't think they are right now. It's not officially said, but it would be about Arya more, and that would make more sense, because this doesn't make as much sense. I think people just want to see it, which is cool. I understand that there are things I just want to see, but hey, I don't know. I think that it would have to be more about Arya. She's the only one really doing stuff and moving things forward. Because what would the end goal be of that show? What's the thing we're getting to? We in Game of Thrones, we knew somebody wants the Iron Throne in the end. What is the thing in the sequel? We don't know. So unless they come up with something for Jon to do, I don't know why we would do that. But Arya does have things she would be doing. You could still get Drogon coming back, or Daenerys, if people still think that's a thing. But yeah, it would still be more about Arya. But seriously, what would you guys want to see? What would you want to see, for real? If your little fan hearts could have it, I would love to see Aegon's Conquest. That's awesome. I just don't think jumping all the way back is a smart thing to do next, or like quickly. I have a whole video on that if you want to watch it. I would love to see Robert's Rebellion, and I never understood why they weren't doing it. And then I really thought about it. I'm like, oh shit, okay, is that it? Because they go, oh no, people will compare it too hard to that, and it's been too soon. Either way, you should have done it. I don't understand why you guys are ducking and dodging that. And they can keep announcing and saying things all day long until it's created. I don't really trust you right now, HBO. That's how you've been treating things. But yeah, I'm Abby with MotorCityNerds. I'm on OF, I'm on TikTok, I'm on all the things down below. And thank you guys so much for being here. If you're new here from the True Detective stuff, I welcome. And I'll try to get pictures of all these dumbass articles up. But yeah, I don't know. I really appreciate people being here. And we have fun. And you guys want to know what's going to be on in like an hour and a half? I thought it was on at midnight, and then I debated staying up for it. Is the new Avatar on Netflix, which I'm concerned about, but it looks very good visually as of right now. But I don't know. So we'll check that out. We're definitely going to talk about that over here.